Okay, so welcome back. I really got to go get these glasses adjusted. Welcome back. So I am part two of researching the ballot on my side, what I see on mine. Yesterday I didn't get very far, and then quite honestly, I had a really long night and a really early morning, and so I almost didn't want to do this today, which is why I completely understand when folks are like, man, I don't have time for that. I get it. I get it because it is a lot. I won't ever say that, but it is also worth it because there's so much more information that you find out if you research it. And then you're not just sitting at the ballot, at the polls like, oh yeah. This person, I think I've heard that name before, not even sure whether or not this person is about to ruin your entire life, but you just click a button or skip over it, which, that's also not helpful. So, um, I am, all that to say, I get it when we say we are like too tired, too busy to give so much attention to these things. But we kind of have to do that. It's for me, it's an innate responsibility. I like I don't know how, for me it's the same as we have a responsibility to each other, we have a responsibility to our communities, we have a responsibility to our families, to our friends. We show up for them. We research them. We spend time with them, even though like sometimes you may get a little distant, or sometimes you may not necessarily like them very much in that season. But when it comes down to it, if there's a special occasion, they are getting married, they are graduating, if someone passes, like all of these, you still show up, you make the time even if you don't have the time. And that's what elections are, right? It's one of those things that you just have to make the time because it is monumental. It is a big milestone. Every time that a new person is elected or someone is reelected, a proposition passes, it is moving us into a new season. And so I'll get off my soapbox. I mostly want to say, like, yes, I probably look tired because I am tired, but I have an event that starts technically in an hour and a half. I am going to be late if the people who are putting on. So it's the Jack Hates alumni. Jack Hates High School in Houston, Texas is celebrating their centennial. And I am a graduate of Jack Yates. A lot of people are graduates of Jack Yates. If you've never heard of Jack Yates, you're going to have to look it up. But it's a really big deal that we're celebrating our centennial. So there's all of these events going on. And today there is a fundraising reception. I think it's a fundraising reception. Either way, I am supposed to be there for 4. I'm okay with being a little bit late, but not a lot late. So, and I do still have to get, put together. Wait, how do you frame your face? There it goes. Okay. Either way, I do have to still get ready for that. So, I think I'm going to give this about an hour and a half, see how far I get. There is a new idea that my dear sister, who I respect very much, wanted for me to look at. So she's hearing me when I say, like, it just right now, it's not worth it. And I don't know enough, right? I know enough about politics to make me dangerous. I'm not a politician. I'm not a career public servant. This is not, well, maybe public servant, but just not in this capacity. But I am somewhat new to the political ecosystem in Houston, and I recognize that all of these politicians, they're people. Like, as much as I talk about the residents that they serve being people, being actual people, we also have a responsibility to recognize that they are also just people. They're human beings. And so there are some that I have met and I have been able to make some assessment about. There are some that I have not met them personally. And so there are some question marks that I have, but I like to pose those to the person, not to the public. Now, there are certain folks that I'm not a big fan of them and haven't been for a long time. And I can meet them and they can be fantastic in person, but just because you have a good personality doesn't mean that I can stand behind your politics. So anyone who's affiliated with them, and this is not a long list. I truly when I say I love people, I love people. So I understand that I may not necessarily agree with a lot of folks. So, um, all that to say, no, I'm still not going to say explicitly maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Let's see how far we get into this because there are a couple of candidates that I think are flying behind the radar, and I really wish that folks paid more attention. Anyhow, so we're going to get over to this idea that my sister had. So, she was kind of trying to get me to tell y'all who all I'm voting for across my ballot, and I don't know that I necessarily need to do that. I don't think I mean, shoot, ain't nobody watched the one from yesterday. I don't think these things anyhow. I just don't take myself that seriously where I'm gonna swing an election. So why waste the capital? So she had an idea. She wanted me to show y'all how I make decisions because when I'm researching, I am looking for certain things. And remember, this is my ballot and this is how I vote. What you vote for and what's important to you may be different. So, she suggested that I put together a scorecard. Now, here's the thing, y'all. I was on this thing for almost 2 hours yesterday, and we only got through 2 races. And so I don't know that I'm going to keep track of this scorecard the entire time we go, but I do think that there is some value in showing you how I mentally. Back in the day, I did actually write out this table, right? So there may be some value for you to see like how I think about it so that you can decide how you would like to think about it and what issues matter to you the most. So, I am going to share my screen and y'all are going to hang out with me while I actually fill this out because, again, I did not do that before this. All right. So I really should share the whole window, but then y'all will see that I have a million tabs open. Pretty metaphorical for my life. All right. So for me, I am looking at my major issues. I am looking at their connection to community. Previous service, if any. And so, like, I'm looking at their votes and whether their votes align with what they say. I guess those could be two. Okay, so aligned with so I'm looking at whether it's aligned with what they say in their platform and whether it's aligned with how I personally would have wanted that vote to go, right? So fill those in real quick. Mine are always going to be related to regular schmegular people, as I like to say. So, do they have food to eat? So, food security is a big one for me. Housing is a big one. And affordable housing, but for me, it's just a given that housing should be affordable. So I don't really make that distinction, but if you do, go for it, more power to you. And there's reasoning for us to, right? So I don't know why I moved that down that way. Okay, we'll add in one above. All right. So food security, housing, cost of living, And see, that's kind of related to it. Obviously, like, just so y'all know, y'all are on the ride with me for this one. Maybe I'll have it all thought out for the next go round. So, food security, housing, cost of living. If I think of any as I go through these, then I'll go over there and add them in. But either way, then I go in and put in the candidate's name. So, like, say this is Crockett. What are they? 29? Nope, she's 18. Wait, what is Crockett? Crockett is State Senate 29. Yes. Yeah. Haha. So Texas Senate 29. I think that's right. Yes. Yes, you are right because they represent Cornyn. There was one I needed to add in. The ability to beat the other guy. Okay. So we have to constantly keep in mind that the Democrat, whoever we pick in the primary, is going to go up against a Republican candidate that is picked in their primary right now. Next year. And if you're a Republican, same thing, right? So you're looking at the Republican candidates and just kind of in the back of your mind, you're picking who do you think is not only in line with how you feel, but is also, I mean, for me, character is a big thing. Integrity is pretty big. So I guess I could put that in. You're looking at those, but you're also considering, can they beat out the next guy? And so this is not Texas. I need to look at this. What are their numbers? And see, this is what I mean when I say I'm a regular schmegular girl. I don't know all of these things off the back of my hand all the time. So they are, that was easy. We weren't looking at districts. Let's make it easy for yourself. Okay. But I did have it right. It's Senate. So I'll put in their name if I like actually fill out this scorecard. I'm telling you, I really don't know that I will, unless there are certain candidates, races that are really, really, really hard for me to assess internally. But you would go in, and this is going to be bold. So for food security, you give it a scale of 1 to 5. I'm a 1 to 5 scale girl because once you average it out, it is usually a lot clearer to me than it is doing the 1 to 10, but some people like the expanded scale. So whatever, I'm a 1 to 5 girly. So I would give them, kind of think Amazon or Uber or whatever, the star system. So for food security, I don't remember what her platform was. I'll have to go back and look at that. For housing, she talked about that. And it wasn't as clear. Yes, it was. I think she works on that. So say I give that a 4. Cost of living, we give it a 5, and then you would total this out down here as a average of all of these. And as you can see, I am slightly a nerd. So I've been working in spreadsheets for forever. So then you have this scorecard across the board. So then if we have Tallarico here, I'm able to kind of average out his, and then it's more of a data-driven way for you to pick your candidates. So that being said, I want to get into starting to look at these candidates. I did want to look at the Republican candidates the Republican candidates that are in Jasmine and Crockett and Tallarico's race. So, okay, so, all right. For Texas Senate 2026. Okay. Oh my. Some of these headlines are always so funny to me because like they're freaking out. That we would never have written a headline like that. Anyhow, I just media today is just so funny to me. Okay, but they are freaking out over the Texas Senate race. Oh, this is the one that has Kim Paxton in it. Yeah, with just days until Texas's primary, Republicans in Washington are growing more alarmed. Cornyn appears to be headed to an expensive and nasty 10-week runoff against Kim Paxton with a strong chance that Paxton wins the nomination, even after national Republicans spent months airing his dirty laundry all over the Texas airways in an effort to boost Cornyn. It's so messy. That's so messy. Okay. Dollars that could otherwise go toward key battleground races. Oh, so they're saying that they think it's going to be a harder sell for Paxton than Cornyn, which is going. Republicans have already spent nearly $100 million on TV ads, and the primary also includes Wesley Hunt. And Cornyn launched a news ad this week with support from the national senator that hammer Paxton in ways that could hurt him in the general elections too, highlighting his messy ongoing divorce and the accusations of corruption and calling Paxton a wife cheater and fraud. Wow. Wow. A wife cheater. That is. They messy. Ooh, they got a lot going on over there. I've really not looked in. Ooh. Okay, so what this says to me, and this is just based off of one article, and a lot of times I'll do this, but I should say the words when you're looking at news articles, just like I question this headline. This is slanted, right? Like freaking out is loaded language. And so while I know people who work for Politico, I respect Politico as a media platform. I do also take note that like freaking out, really, guys, that's a lot. That's adding in bias just like up top. So I don't particularly care for that. So I take note of it. But sometimes facts are facts are facts, right? So it doesn't change the fact that apparently Paxton has been called a wife cheater and a fraud, and it would just make sense that when we get into the general election, whoever our guy is now has ammunition because Cornyn has been coming at Paxton so hard. So I just kind of take that as a fact. I'll go read an article or two over the next couple of days and just kind of assess if there is something that is just completely off kilter out of what I just read regarding Paxton, regarding Cornyn having trouble. So those attacks haven't stopped Paxton, a MAGA hero, more aligned with the party base, who has been bolstered by positive polling and a wave of grassroots enthusiasm. Okay. And he's up against Cornyn, which is, the old hat. Kim Paxton, though, has been in office for years. So he's got his own machine. It's not like, they say grassroots, but that's real cute. That's grassroots. Like, oh yeah, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, but my daddy gave me $4 million to start my first business that ended up going bankrupt or whatever the number was. So, Paxton is not new to this game. He absolutely has a base and a machine of his own. So Wesley Hunt, let's and it says Republican out of Texas. Oh yeah, that's this guy. Are there enough Republicans that are looking for, I don't know, let's see what he's about. That's interesting. And he's already in He's already a rep. Wait, hold on. What's this dude? He's not brand new. I've heard his name. Have I seen this man? I think I've seen this man. Okay, let's find out. Raised in Houston to a military family. Well, how'd you do that? He commission. He's a Army. Oh, okay. Got it. This dude is in. Remember, we got two arms here. So he's Texas State Rep. He's basically in the same. I'm kind of doing some assessments here. He's basically in the same situation as Jasmine Crockett. He's already in the House. He now is looking to move into the Senate. Okay. All right. Let's see what his website looks like real quick. And this is just like me doing I want to know who's on the other side. Well, let's see what he was looking at. So these are the bills that he has either supported, co-sponsored, or sponsored. So funding state firearm ownership databases, amend the SBA Act to establish a goal of participation for small business concerns owned and controlled by veterans. Okay, so he's looking at veteran businesses. That's a pretty hot topic. Okay, so veterans issues, there's a couple of funding things in here. Planning Predictability Act. The names of these are always interesting. Public charge clarification. Okay, I don't have time to be worried all that daggone much about somebody's stuff that is not mine. Wesley Hunt skipped the State of the Union. Trump hasn't supported anyone in this race. Let's see real quick why he skipped the State of the Union, because that might give him a boost. Oh, I'm not paying for your thing, bruh. I'm not doing that. Okay. All right, videos. Okay. He's the most MAGA candidate, bruh.
These transforming glasses automatically adjust to what you're looking at.
It's out of him.
All glasses.
There is a such thing as the splitting of the votes, right? Like over in 29, you have more than likely you have two candidates out of those three candidates who are going to split votes, and one of them is lesser known. So I, kind of keep that in. So I'm kind of thinking about this here. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to figure that out right now. I'm going to think about it later, but let's see.
Well, a week away from the start of early voting on the 17th. I want to begin with the latest polling we've seen from the University of Houston Hobby School.
Election, because I'm outperforming two guys that have been around for decades, and I'm doing it already in that poll. The other polls that are just public polls, we are already performing in second place, even challenging Ken in one of them.
Okay. I mean, he ain't wrong. Whatever. So those are their three people. So as we're looking at Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico, we have to consider who do they have the best chance of beating out, or who has the better chance at beating out, whether they end up picking Paxton, Hunt, or, that's just really interesting. I'm interested to know what that outcome is. I'm not one of these people who predicts races. All right, so that is theirs. I'm going to get out of that race and into, I did my rep yesterday. That was 29. Who's next? Oh, I guess I could show y'all what I'm looking at. Okay. So next up, we have governor. Yep, that's the answer. The answer is governor, sis. Oof, oof. All right. Okay. No matter what, in an hour, I got to be done with this. So let me set a goal for myself. I want to get through governor, lieutenant governor. I really don't even want to research attorney general because I pretty much already decided that one. So, oh, these are all getting so fun. Oh, we're not going to be able to get to all of this today. Okay. I'm gonna go with governor and lieutenant governor, and then if we have time, then I'll get to attorney general. Okay. Ooh, governor just feels like it's about to take some time, buddy. And I have pledged to a group that I lead that I will look up their campaign videos and drop them into that chat. If you're looking for where is the easiest place for you to find that chat, oh, this is just my stomach hurts trying to look up all these people. Okay, why don't we start with the first one? Just start with the first one, Tina. All right. Zach Vance for governor. I'm really excited for the governor's race. All right. So I am going to look up, I'm going to leave this on here. What's the best way to get this? It would have been to log in on my WhatsApp on the computer, but that's not going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to look it up over here. Zach Vance for Texas, and we are looking for his IG. That's where I was. Please come out to the cleanup on. Oh yeah, I will absolutely go to the cleanup on. Oh man. Ugh. I got like 4 community service things I so badly want to do. Okay. So Zach Vance on his IG, he has 203 followers. How to flip Texas. Okay, sir, you better get in there. All right. And I'm going to send this to the WhatsApp. I'm trying to do this really quickly. I don't know that I'm doing it really quickly, but it's getting done. Okay, Chris, community chat. Community chat is where it's going. All right. For governor. Governor. Okay. All right. And then drop the link. Okay. So Zach Vance on this side will also try to find a video, but I want to make sure I'm trying to do double duty here. So this is not just a campaign for governor; it's a campaign to save Texas by bringing together all people who do not have hate in their heart. Oh, I love that! Actually, thank you. It is a campaign to change Texas by getting Texans to prioritize real issues over the culture war issues that Greg Abbott uses to distract voters from the actual problems facing the state and in their lives. In Texas, elections for Democrats now are a fight for Texans' lives. Beating Greg Abbott is a life or death. I mean, none of that's not true. I highly suspect that this is ChatGPT'd. Which just got further more likely. First, we must identify which kind of non-voters we need to target, so we know exactly how to get them to turn out. Homie, you got to do your work. Oh, maybe this is just leftover because he is a smaller campaign. This group needs. Some just don't care about politics at all. Needs to feel connection to the candidate outside of issues. Yeah, this is all ChatGPT. Okay. Let's meet him. He's 39. Oh, hey, you. Oh, they had them a good time. I wonder where they went. Okay. He's a Marine Purple Heart recipient. Love. Houston, raised in Fort Bend County until his junior high. Then he went to University UNT. Wife, 2 young sons, worked at the cable news organization and left to stay at home with his newborn son in late 2020 because of a lack of access to child care during the COVID. Since then, I've been I have been a stay-at-home, work-from-home dad, all doing AutoCAD work. That's admirable. Okay. Love Texas and Texans. I truly care about. Oh. You know, when I read these, I often think about the questions I was getting in my campaign. And Zach, a lot of this is ChatGPT, and I don't like that. I don't, AI has a place. But when it comes to communications, I genuinely want to know who you are. So, and I know the base information that was fed into the robot like spit out. And don't get me wrong, I have a love-hate relationship when it comes to that. All right, so let's look at these issues. Affordable childcare, property taxes, public education, healthcare. Let's see what we're doing on public education. Don't need to go to private schools. If a parent wants to send their child to private school, the parent should cover the cost. Yeah, agreed. I absolutely agree. But how are you going to pay the teachers what they deserve and incentivize the good teachers to stay teaching? And how are you lowering those classroom sizes? And that is, homelessness is important to me. I will eliminate homelessness. That's a strong, okay. Back it up, Zach. Homelessness is caused by any one of or a combination of a few different mental illness, drug addiction. Okay, well, we know that the state will come up with and find solutions for all of them. Zach, bro, I need so many more answers. Okay, for what? Let's go under women's health care because I do care about that. I believe in freedom, and that means lawmakers should not have the right to tell women what to do. Understood. Want all babies to come into this world, to loving families, but that is not the reality of the situation. Oh, wait, y'all haven't been reading what I'm reading. That's great. I don't know what you've been reading. Okay, so these are his issues, and I was looking at this information here, the homelessness one. I am surprised to see so few, but that also just may show restraint, you know. Um, Eliminate property taxes, accept maintenance and operations for people who are 65 or older, have been in their home for 15 years and have the home completely paid off. And he's going to cut it off at the million mark. So that's difficult though, because there are homes that are now valued over $1 million in some of the areas where, is particularly Houston, is being redeveloped or gentrified, depends on how you put it. But there are homes that were bought for a fraction of, and the property itself, just because of where it sits now, is worth more than $1 million. So yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Not to say it can't be overcome or that it's a massively big problem across the states, but across the state. But that's what came to mind. I will stop wasteful spending at the local level. What you mean, Jack? Zach? Okay. All right. So that is Zach. And there's contact information. All right. Great. We have researched Zach. I think I have a good enough idea on Mr. Zachary. That may not be that man's name. All right. We're going to do Carlton Hart. The one that I see the most is Gina. Okay, so he went through. Look, y'all see how this photo isn't submitted? For me, for mine, we had to submit my photo like 3 times, and it wasn't the half-faced one. We really submitted to them the full body shot because their language says that it needs a full body shot, that you can't be in a bathing. So there's all these things that told me that people have really taken advantage of these photo submissions over the years. But so all that to say, Carlton may have submitted his photo, but it just ain't there. He did something for them to have this set up as a page. Oh, look, people got, okay. These people were either disqualified or they withdrew. That's interesting. There's too many of these folks for me to. Oh, there's Zach. Oh, Zach. I like him. Let's see. It doesn't. Okay. UNC. All information we already saw. And I don't understand. What did you do for cable news? Oh, this is what popped out. I keep forgetting, and that's why I need to share the whole window. Okay. So back to Carlton. Carlton has absolutely nothing on his Ballotopedia, but I mean, what's that mean? Carlton, Hart, San Antonio did a report. No, oh no, this is also self-submission. He's a retired events specialist from Houston. He's seeking the Democratic nomination. Okay, thanks, San Antonio. Y'all are the best. Oh, I love this guy. The League of Women Voters. I always want to go LVW. Of Houston. They do a pretty good job. So let's see. What training experience? For decades, I've worked in public service in the school system and among other positions as a minister. I've listened to hopes, fears, and dreams. Empathy. God is my policy. My ordination reflects a. What changes need to be made to the Texas abortion laws? Women should have the right to make decisions. Laws should support the ability for women to make informed choices based on their circumstances. Focus on balancing state level visions, funding standards. Emphasize teacher support, parental choice, and equitable funding while promoting innovation. Immigration, address immigration issues. The standard of the law, foreign and domestic, should be implemented by the law of the land. What you talking about, Carlton? You see, okay, Carlton. What does that mean? Tell me more. Tell me more, because it's giving you okay with these people doing these things in our streets, and I'm not with that, Carlton. So I wanted to give you a chance. I did, but if that's not what you mean, you got to fix your answers. That's wild. National Guard, share your position on what is appropriate for the federal government to deploy National Guard in Texas cities. In critical and unruly disturbance, the National Guard should be called in an extremely emergency weather-related hour crowd control, not just for the standard of normal practice. Okay, but I thought you were an educator. Like these, no. See, I try to make sure that I remain kind. Because I don't know what Carlton had going on when he was filling that out, and maybe there's a reason why there's incomplete sentences. Okay, what's that? Okay, might as well take a look. Since I ended up on the Texas Tribune, they've done a roundup. I'm going to go ahead and see what the Republicans look like. So Pete Doc Chambers, he's a grassroots campaign challenging Abbott from the right, arguing that Abbott has presided over a decade of all optics and no action on issues, including property taxes and the border. I thought that said HEB. I straight thought that said HEB, and I was about to say, hey, Pete, bro, you're not going to get anywhere trying to curb anything related anyhow. Okay, so he wants to get rid of private school vouchers. That's nice. Okay. Hey, Gina girl. Let's see. Who is this is him. Might as well read it. Bruh. You see how much these campaigns cost? And and to have that amount of money, imagine what would happen? I really did some math last year. What would happen if all of the money that is donated to all of these campaigns, if that money was put toward programming or the budget, would it make a huge hole in our debt? And the answer is yes and no. But I just find it fascinating the amount of money that is put into this. Now, I decided uh, through my campaign, what I got to see was there is a reason why they spend so much money. And the problem comes down to the general public. The general public doesn't pay attention. And so these campaigns come down to nothing more than marketing campaigns. That's all they are. I've been in communications like majority of my life. I know a marketing campaign when I see them. And so, or you can call it a pageant contest, but it's all because they're trying to peacock to get the attention of the voters. And they're having to do that because the voters don't pay attention, but the voters don't pay attention because of the tomfoolery that goes on, right? So we got like a little bit of a chicken or the egg type situation. But when I see us spending millions on campaigns, on a marketing contest, I have an issue. But I also know, and that's why I'm doing these, that there are candidates that get buried underneath the fluff because they weren't able to afford paying for a full-time staff to do their marketing materials, to do their emails and their social medias, to come up with the campaign strategy, to research all of the different policies, like that campaigns cost that much money for those reasons, because otherwise the candidate gets to wear a lot of those hats, right? And that costs money. And they do all of that because they need your attention. And so there are these candidates that are smaller. Gosh, fighting for my life over here. There are some candidates who are smaller because they don't have as much funds that are raised and dedicated to the campaign. Therefore, they can't hire these teams, which means that the voters don't ever really acknowledge or know about them. And we miss the opportunity very often to elect a Barack Obama or, and I have appreciated that James Talarico's campaign has been more of a grassroots effort and that it has garnered so much support. I absolutely respect that. I have a value in seniority in moments like these. But anyhow, so $105 million is wild. Major donors, oil executives, billionaires, a casino person from the leadership fund, University of Texas Regent. Okay, $1 million. Y'all see that, right? $1 million donated. That's wild to me. He was more aligned with the party's pro-business. He's embraced more hardline, socially conservative causes and transformed into a partisan warrior closely aligned with President Donald Trump. Ain't that something? Reducing property taxes. I can't. Let's move on. Okay, so is that his own? That's not his only opponent. It can't be. All right, so then we got Miss Gina here, who has raised half of what Abbott has raised. She loaned herself. What she do is she loaned herself $300,000. So for campaigns, just FYI, that is something that you can do and that is somewhat normal. And it also explains to me why her campaign was able to take off so quickly. Because last year, I remember seeing her for the first time last year, and it was a very strategic launch. So well done, well done. But this is why they talk about, you shouldn't run unless you have all this money of your own, because, she bought her way as opposed to getting donations from, UT regents and energy executives. Okay. So 300 came from her and then 300 came from them. So what would end up happening if the campaign closed out now is that she would be able to pay herself back that 300,000. So there would be an additional 300,000 in the coffer. Now, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be gone by the general election. And there will be more money raised between now and then, particularly if she were to get it. So Rice University political science fellow Mark Jones ranked, I want to know how to pronounce her name, who serves as vice chair of the Texas Legislative House in every legislative session since she was elected. Her marquee issue was investing in public education, but she also worked on healthcare funding, corporate reform, and public safety issues. Mm. Okay. Okay. We'll just pop out her website. Well, I guess we're going to her website. Cool. A fighter for Texas. Let's watch her campaign video. Oh, crikey.
No te dejes. Fight back. That's the lesson my grandmother taught me growing up right here in the valley. In my hardest fights, I hear her voice tell me, no te dejes. My name is Gina Hinojosa, and I'm running for governor of Texas. Our fight right now is against the billionaires and the corporations who are driving up prices, closing our neighborhood schools, and cheating Texans out of basic health care. That's who Greg Abbott works for. I'm running for governor to work for you. I came up in Brownsville Public Schools where no one had much money, but we had a strong sense of family and community. When I started my own family, we built our lives around those same values. They tried to shut down my son's school. No te dejes. I ran for school board and I won the seat, then I won the fight. We kept that school open, but Abbott spent tax dollars meant for our schools on payouts to his donors. So I ran for the state house. And once I got there, we won a historic investment in Texas public schools. Don't mess with Texas moms. The challenge now is that Abbott's corruption runs deep, and the billionaires he works for will not stop until they get what they want. Abbott devastated our schools when he passed his voucher scam, and he took $6 million from an out-of-state billionaire dead set on defunding public education. So long as we have a governor who can be bought, we won't have the Texas that we deserve. I'm fighting back. I'm running to take on the corruption and take back our state, and I'm asking you to join me. We can win good-paying jobs for every hardworking Texan, quality, affordable healthcare in our own communities, safe streets, and yes, neighborhood schools that offer a great education by teachers who are allowed to teach. We can do this. We're Texans. We do hard things, and we've never been afraid of a fight. No te dejes. It's time to fight and win.
Okay. Go ahead, sis. All right. So she is also got a limited but she's got a addition. Okay, there we go. I want to see the additionals because remember my top priorities are not on her top. And I'm okay with that not being your top. I just want to know what else. I know it just gave us the same. All right, that's cool. She's got endorsements. Let's see. Jasmine Crockett. Oh, that's fun. I so enjoy them running against each other. They probably don't enjoy that so much, but I appreciate the way that they are moving around each other. We ain't about to have a Kim Paxton, Hunt Cornyn situation. So I appreciate the respectability that's in that race right now. Sylvia Garcia. Now remember, Sylvia Garcia is fighting to keep her seat, and she's running against Jarvis Johnson and Rob Slater. And Rob Slater is the little-known candidate that maybe people should pay attention to. But at the same time, I'm so torn. Because at the same time, we got to think about, well, shoot, I don't know. For as messy as the Republican side is, it almost feels like any one of the three that we put up would be able to give a good fight. Although I am of the mind. Never mind. Okay, so who else? She got Sylvia Garcia, a bunch of U.S. Well, let's say 6 U.S. reps, a bunch of state folks. Who all is on this list? There's a ton of them. Well, yeah, because that's where she is right now. Of course, that makes sense. Let's see if we have anybody out of Harris County that's on here. Cameron, Travis. Leslie Briones. Oh, Abby Kamen, which is one of the city council members. She's currently running for Harris County. Oh, let me not get to lying. Let me go look because I know it's a Harris County position. Not attorney. Is it district clerk? Look, Abby, your time will come. I don't think we're doing. Let me see. If I can find it quickly, then I'll tell you what it is. No, I'm not doing that. That is distracting me, and I have 28 minutes left. Okay. And we are only on number 3 in this list, but we're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. Okay. But I think they're all on the ballot. Rodney Ellis. They got Cayman on here twice. They like, you're not gonna miss that Abby attacking me. All right, so back over. Let's get through the rest of this Texas Tribune, and that may be all the time that I have is to get through that. But this is the way I want to say this. This is the way the research goes for me. I am constantly just kind of hopping around. I choose a race from one resource to the other, and then I cumulatively discern how I feel about these folks. So Chris Bell is a former Houston City Council member, journalist turned lawyer. I respect that. I respect anyone who is a reporter. And it's because of the base level transferable skills that are required for you to function as a journalist. Well, I don't know what it looks like. I'll be honest. I don't know what they be doing now. But I know in the world that I was trained in, that I was raised in, we had a high level of integrity. We had a lot of training surrounding how to see other points of views. And most of us innately liked to hear the story from all different sides and weren't necessarily big about taking sides, right? More than explaining it. So it also requires you to research quickly, research on the fly, understand new concepts really quickly, whether you know them or you don't. And the fact that this guy has already been serving, I remember Chris Bell. So he's already served as a council member. He's also run for other seats. Like, he served a term in Congress before he was drawn out of his district and redistricted. Ain't that a miss? So he got pushed out because of redistricting. And what are we looking at? Wait, he's running for governor? So he's got $4,600 on hand. And the people who are donating to him are small businesses, is what that looks like. He's running lost for governor, U.S. Texas. And that's what a lot of these folks do. They run for different seats until they can get something. That's what's been posed to me, is like, pick a seat. What's the seat you're going to run for next? And I'm like, guys, I'm not just running for seats just to run for seats. And I'm not saying that is a knock at them or a negative mark, because some folks grow up and they're like, I want to be a public servant. And so that is an entire career path. So of course it would make sense. It's like them applying for jobs. You know, I wanted to be a reporter. And so there were times that I would reply to multiple jobs. Yeah, I wanted to work for the New York Times, or I wanted to work for, it was the New York Times. Watch Post a little bit, but more New York Times. But yeah, I wanted to work for them, but I'm going to apply to this, I'm going to apply to that, and I'm going to see who hires me and what God has in store for me. So it only makes sense that if you're a career public servant, that you would run for multiple things. That's just not my journey. Okay, so Chris Bell, political ideology. Bell described himself as a lifelong Democrat who focused on ethics and integrity while in government. During his 2020 run, he backed Medicaid expansion, a ban on assault weapons, and a mandatory assault weapon buyback program, emphasized the need to fight climate change. Mm. I wonder if I wonder what's impacting his fundraising. Bobby Cole, 27, and I am honestly getting ready. We're going to get through this Texas Tribune article. I'm going to say some closing words and get out. Okay, so Bobby Cole, campaign finance, campaign on hand, blah, 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 blah. Cash on hand is $27,000. Steve and Martin, so he's got small donors, is what that says. He's a cattle rancher. That's cool. A poultry producer. Did y'all know that there is a massive chicken conference that happens in Atlanta? Like the biggest chicken conference, the biggest poultry conference happens in Atlanta, and it takes over the whole city. Learn that, the more you know. Okay, Cole describes himself as a pro-worker Democrat that with no nonsense approach to solving problems, emphasizes his rural roots. Lower property taxes, restoring state abortion access, increase public school funding. And you see what I mean? Like, dramatic a little bit. Okay, so you see what I mean? That like if we look a little bit further sometimes down the ballot, you find some pretty interesting folks, because I've not heard of Bobby Cole, but I mean, he sounds kind of interesting. It looks like he's a first-time candidate. I like newcomer. I need that nap. I need that 10-minute nap. So let's check out his website, see what he has. Meet Bobby. This looks like Bobby's website. Like, whoever did this website, y'all did really good. Bobby Cole's an ordinary Texan with an extraordinary times. He's a retired firefighter, cattleman, poultry producer, and ready to take on fights in Austin and beyond. That's right. We're looking at governor. Farming is the kind of work that will keep people humble and looking for a second income. Bobby was in that position as a dairy farmer early in life. One day he thumbed through the green sheet. All green sheet brings you buyers at the local Dairy Queen and saw an ad looking for firefighters. And that's how he went into firefighting. His commute later to Plano, despite the journey, getting home equipment. So he still had the dairy farm. Cool beans. He has over 1 million chickens. Eventually, the extra income helped him and his family build a small operation within 1,000 acres that raises 300 head of cattle and over 1 million chickens. That's pretty impressive. I wonder what 1 million chickens looks like. Well, I guess he hasn't had them the whole time. Okay, let's see what he's about. Getting Texas back on track, raise the minimum wage, protect workers' rights to organize, legalize marijuana. But is that about revenue? Legalize and expunge the low-level offenses. This will create jobs. And as a farmer, he's looking at the possible revenue streams for rural, boost state and local uses. Because, I mean, the other states, they have really been pulling in a lot of tax revenue. Well, he's going to use that to help bring down. See, this is what I like to see. I like to see that I have thought about how the knee bone connects to the elbow, because it's really nice to tell me that you're against something or you're for something. I need to know that you have thought through in some fashion how you're going to bring those things about. Now, I also keep in mind that sometimes the campaigns just haven't had the time to put all of that information out. Doesn't mean that they haven't thought about it, right? But I like that there is a connection between these two, right? Don't just a lot of the politicians that talk about legalizing marijuana, a lot of them just kind of throw out there, oh yeah, I'm going to legalize it. No real logic and strategy behind it or even after it. So I like that. Winterize and modernize the power grid, ensure Texans never again face power outages. Protecting veterans, immigration is a federal issue. There are ways to control the border than what there are better ways than what we have gotten from Abbott and Trump. Practical solutions should be the goal, not performative theatrics. We need a governor who will stop villainizing people and one who helps create a legal process that works for Texans and our economy. I don't know. I like Bobby Cole. Oh, that's to volunteer for his campaign. I didn't want to do that. Okay. Okay, Bobby Cole, I see you. Let's see how he speaks. Like, I'd really like to know more about his background. Okay. It's 4:32. It's 3:32, Tina. Looks like he's going for the youth vote.
We need a proven conservative leader who understands the budget, who's looking for ways to cut the budget down so we are spending less.
Now, across. Greg Abbott, we talked about that plan. The big surge has stopped, but we still have a large presence down on the border with DPS troopers, National Guard members. How would you handle that situation? Would you draw it back?
I believe in a strong border, and we need to keep a presence down there until we can figure out what level can maintain that security at that border. It shouldn't be an endless money draw to protect the border.
There's progressive, there's social Democrats, there's moderate Democrats, Clinton Democrats. What kind of Democrat are you?
All those labels you put on, I don't know exactly what they mean, and I'm sure they mean, even with people within those sectors, probably have different definitions for that. I'm simply a working class Democrat.
The Democrat Party has made gender identity a big issue on the political stage. Where do you stand on this transgender situation, biological males who transition to women? Should they play in women's sports?
I think it happens so little. What I think is that is a local issue, because the people locally understand the issue more than politicians from Austin could.
Another big social debate, it deals with casino gambling and destination resorts. Where do you stand on that issue?
It seems like if you're going to Oklahoma to do it, you're going to Louisiana to do it, you're flying to Las Vegas to do it, why don't we do it here? It makes sense to me to capture that.
See, I like a makes sense type of candidate. I really do. Not highly polished, not talking from talking points, but not speaking from talking points, but more speaking from from experience and just common sense logic. Because what that tells me is that when you get into office, you'll be able to take all of the pieces, all of the feedback that you're getting from the representatives, from electeds, and from the residents. You'll be able to do your own research and come up with something that makes some sense. So I wanted to see what his video looked like. It wasn't until this woman asked me in the community chat about videos that I thought, you know what, you're right. Okay.
You've heard about bulls in a china shop? Well, that's what Greg Abbott's been doing to the people of the state of Texas. Tearing up everything we've built, kissing up to bullies and billionaires who are taking every last dime out of our pockets. Well,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
be
give
really
up that
sad,
easy.
Bobby
On
Cole, if you
farms
are not what
or
you
people.
seem.
Weather,
really want
disease,
you to know.
inflation, and tariffs can make or break you. And as a young man, I was closer to broke than made. Like a lot of Texans, I needed a second job. For over 20 years, I fought fires, then drove 100 miles back home to work the cows. I've met people who've lost everything, treasured possessions, homes, even their loved ones. I was honored to help them in their darkest hour, and I'm prepared to do it again for the people of Texas. Greg Abbott has let the state go up in flames, threatening families and the lives we've built. While we worked hard, he gutted schools, ignored the grid, and stuck his nose in our personal lives.
Ooh.
This emergency calls for someone with leadership to unite and the courage to fight. I'm Bobby Cole, and I'm running for governor. For the folks who've been squeezed out and written off. I'll stand up to Trump's extremism and Elon's corporate greed and make damn sure our kids grow up in a state of the people, by the people. Here's my plan. Fund the schools, fix the grid, legalize marijuana, protect Medicare and rural health care, cut taxes. Greg Abbott left us to fight for ourselves. Elect me governor, and you'll never fight alone again. So hurry up now, and let's take Texas back.
Okay, Bobby. And here's the thing about Bobby. Bobby could stand up against any one of the Republican candidates that they've been, any one of them. Now, again, unless I am missing something about Bobby, which is always possible. So let's keep looking. And in the meantime, let me also check what am I? I'm at 3:40. I'm not going to get a nap. Okay. So I'm going to share with y'all what I'm looking at. So we have looked at Zach Vance. He is the guy with the AI website that probably has some good ideas, but I didn't see any just yet. And it's a little vague. Carlton, which one was Carlton? I just remember Carlton was tripping. Oh, right. He's the one that had the immigration comment that seemed very not on my brand. Chris Bell is the longtime career politician who was a Houston City Council member, also ran for a bunch of other positions. Then we looked at Gina, and now we're on Bobby. So we need to do Patricia, Andrew, Angela, and Jose. Wow, we're not even halfway through that one. That's cool. And here I was thinking I might be able to get to lieutenant governor too. Okay. All right. Alrighty. And here's the thing. We're on page 1. We're on page 1, guys. These are going to be easier, though. Like going through these smaller races are, like the down ballot races are always easier for me. One, because there are fewer candidates that are in them, right? Some of them are uncontested. And then, these are a lot easier down the ballot, which is why I wish people would look them up. So, let's keep going with governor. All right, so let's go with Miss Patricia. Come on, I just want to do a cute little copy paste. Please don't make me have to type it too. All right, fine. That did not work out. Oh, my hip. Ow, my hip. Oh, she's on a Laredo something or other. She's an educator of academic technology. Okay, girl. Yes, ma'am. She provides vision, leadership, and coordination in the effective use of instructional technologies. Okay. Went to Texas A&M, 2 degrees, has an MS. Isn't that social work? No, science. Science. Duh, technology. Okay. That voter's guide be coming in handy. Whoop, 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 whoop. What training, experience, and characteristics qualify you? Since I was 6 years old, I have been training for this position. I've been a doctor in DC for 15 years and retired for 13 years. I am honest, knowledgeable, and kind. That's nice to know. But what training and experience, the characteristics is what I think I got more of. Because what kind of doctor? Wait, a doctor? It's no, oh, maybe that's not the same person. That's why it's important to check stuff. Share your thoughts on the role of state and local government in education has been downsized to a point where excuse me, by the way. There's nobody here. Is there? Maybe there is. Are there people? I didn't look. Families cannot afford to pay for their children's education, especially at the elementary level. My mother was born in Mexico. My father was born in San Antonio. I have an experience of making sure that my mother was protected. She became a U.S. citizen, got her GED, became a CNA. Everyone in Texas should have the right to his or her own individual immigration protection. Okay. I want to know more about what she means by that. But also, a CNA is not a nurse. A CNA is a certified nursing assistant. I don't know if that matters. Share your position. Government. The governor can deploy the National Guard in Texas cities. The federal government should go through the Texas governor for this situation. What are these answers? Maybe she had someone on her staff or on her team do that. Not a big fan of that. All right. She really may be the last one because I am tired. Oh, they got everybody right here. Except not everybody filled out the questionnaire. No. Them questionnaires are really a lot. Like when you're trying to run for office, like those are really, it's really a lot of questionnaires coming your way. So I don't blame them. And here go the Republican candidates. You see why I say to look beyond? Because how many people were in that Texas Tribune article? I think it was 2 candidates, Abbott and I don't even remember who the other person was that they had, but it was only 2. Maybe it was Pete. I think it was Pete. But now we have Evelyn and Bob. Excuse me. Kenneth Hyde. Oh, he's a horticulturist. That's very interesting. And he's on the Republican side. He's focused on legalizing marijuana. Oh, that's an interesting picture, sir. Okay, I can't be concerned with the other side right this moment. So I looked up Chris. Jose is a tax strategist and technical engineer. Angela is an education advocate from Uvalde. Oh, yeah. I've seen her. Then there's Chris, there's Bobby. Andrew White dropped out of the race on January 5th, but will still appear. Patricia didn't fill anything out. Zach is a medically retired Marine who most recently worked at an Austin news organization. And there's Miss Jana, getting it, girl. And then Carlton, who's a retired event specialist. Okay. And what I'm considering is who all do I really still need to look into? I think I saw enough from Patricia. I did all of these guys. So I got Andrew, Jose, and Angela. Oh, no, Andrew withdrew. Okay, great. So we're down to Jose and Angela. Let's check out Miss Angela. Education advocate at a law firm, lives in Uvalde, previously ran for AHA. She ran in 2018 and a Texas House seat in 22. The Angie. Go ahead, girl. I like that. I like the what do we call those? What is it? What do we call those? Preferred name. Okay. Jose is Jose friend. Friend. This picture is not giving. It's just not giving. Is a tax strategist and software. That would make sense. That's why he ain't worried about this picture. Ain't nobody got time for that. I get that, friend. I do, but I really hope we have some better pictures of you somewhere because it's giving no effort. And you want to have put in some effort, right? Okay. Or no budget. Why don't we like judge much? Maybe it's no budget. And then Jose is over here doing the best he can because his website's pretty dope because he's right. He's an IT person. Blueprint. Executive blueprint toward legislation, accepting donations. So you're not accepting donations? Maybe he pulled out. He may have set everything up and then at some point just decided. Interviews. I've seen that sign, I think, though, this year. I think I've seen that. Interviews. Integrate college and high school associate's degree. That's really interesting. I mean, you came out swinging, homie. Work permit integration. Free hot school lunches for every child. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm reading. I should. Sorry, I forgot I was live. So I like a couple of things. Jose is interesting. I'm gonna have to see his videos and all of that good jazz. What is his background? That's where you are, Chris. Get it together. Okay, representative tax bracket. Representatives have a mission and a message. I'm fighting on behalf of my tax for families making under 100,000 from any walk of life. Okay. Oh, he's talking about under. Okay, tax strategist, software. So he's an entrepreneur. That's what I'm saying. He's an entrepreneur. Um, yeah, he's an entrepreneur. Okay. All right. Okay, Jose. I see you. I see where you're going with that. I really appreciate that he used the tools that were obviously already in his disposal. Um, and we saw Miss Angela. I think that's it. Oh my gosh, did I finish? Ah, okay. Let's give her one additional. Let's look past this article on her real quick. 2026 candidate. Oh, she's a special education advocate. I should hook her up with my sister. Estia Angie. Okay, girl. I really enjoy her branding. Okay. 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 This is her website. I would prefer to take a look at that. Join the campaign, volunteer. Me, Angela, Voice for Texas Families, Rooted in Community, Kicking It with Jarvis and HBCU. Jarvis, wait, she graduated from Jarvis? Wait a minute, Angela. Wait, hold up. Wait. About you. Okay. Okay. Community. Angela believes that quality public education is foundation. What's your background, sis? ICE out. Yep, they gotta go. Gun violence prevention and safer schools. Tax the rich and corporations, please. HBCU protection from Project 2025 and 2026. Okay. Did she go to Jarvis? Friend, I just need to know, is this saying that you graduated from? I mean, that's what it says. But I really have a question, Thea. Um, I need to know, like, did you graduate from Jarvis? Okay. All right. That's cool. Um, I guess it's not that important. It's an interesting nugget. Okay, let me go back to the ballot, make sure. And tomorrow, or at some point, I will also look at the Republican side to see who we're up against, more than likely up against. So yeah, Zach is okay. Then Carlton, Patricia, Chris. So the ones who stick out to me the most here are Bobby, Angie, and Gina. That's who sticks out to me. Now remember, that's who sticks out to me. Me. This is, that's who sticks out to me. So I strongly, 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 strongly encourage you to also look these folks up for yourself. And even if you're just watching like me and what my thoughts are as I research them, as I review the ballot, um, even if you're just watching me, make sure that you are checking in with yourself, because what you care about may not be what I care about. Like, and Zach may be your dude. Um, yeah, or one of the folks on the Republican side. Now, no, you have to decide whether you're going to vote in the Democratic primary or the Republican primary. So you don't get to pick on that side and pick on this side. Okay, so with that, I now have an opportunity to take a 5-minute nap before identifying a outfit that fits an event that, quite honestly, I don't know the attire for. Um, and then go to that. So we didn't get very far. And I promise once I get past page 1, those other races are going to be so much quicker. Well, maybe not so much. They will be quicker, but maybe not so much. And there may be, what are there on this ballot? There are 9 pages, but 9 pages doesn't necessarily um, mean anything for me. We have different districts and precincts and all that good jazz. So there's probably like 2 pages of precincts alone. Yeah, a page and a half. So I won't have to vote in all of those, and neither will you. Now, I am not committed to looking up every single race because we're so short on time. So I'm going to look up the ones that are on my ballot specifically and then double back if I have time to look at the others. Okay, that's that. Hour and a half, we got through one race. Again, I understand when folks say this takes time, but it does. And I usually do it from my phone in between meetings and in between calls, or like, if I'm scrolling social media, just being a little bit more intentional. Hey, let me go look up the candidates in this race or that race. It's not usually all done sitting in one spot, looking everyone up in this way. So I did want to make that note. All right, I am going to go close my eyes for 4 minutes and then get dressed and head out to this event. I hope this is useful to someone somewhere. I probably should tell someone that it's here. Okay, y'all. Bye bye.